Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all are doing well today. And to all my new supporters joining us for the first time, welcome to the family. Everyone feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and turn all post notifications on. Today, we will be reacting to and learning about how Trump's tariffs are currently impacting the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which is based in Canada, going from Canada to the United States of America. I'm aware that Canada is in charge of this bridge. They actually spent their profit on building this bridge. The United States has nothing to do with this. Before we actually jump right into this video, I got some facts typed out on our Google Docs. So let's go ahead and read these facts before actually jumping into this video, man. Look, I got it color coordinated and everything. Look at it. Come on now. Look at the color. Look at the colors. Can we appreciate the colors, man? We got the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Forgive me if I call it the Howie. I have a habit of saying the Howie because it has an E at the end. Now that I'm saying it out loud, was this bridge actually named after the Canadian hockey player, Gordie Howe? Wait a minute. That's crazy that I'm actually thinking about this now. Somebody let me know in the comments. Is this a big coincidence, or did Canada do this on purpose, man? Come on now, he had to be an amazing player if they named a bridge after him. I don't know too much about him, but I have seen some of his stats before. I have checked out some of his stats before. I told you I've been trying to learn some more about hockey. So at number 1, we got the potential impact of Trump's tariffs on the Gordie Howe International Bridge stems primarily from the effect on cross-border trade, meaning that this is actually going to affect the trading process between the United States and Canada. Decreased traffic. Tariffs on Canadian goods, including potentially auto parts, which we heard them speak about throughout the meeting between Carney and Trump. We heard that Trump wanted to be his own manufacturer. He didn't want to rely on Canada for auto parts. So auto parts can lead to decreased traffic across the bridge, particularly for businesses involved in just-in-time manufacturing processes. Reduced revenue now. Come on now, reduced revenue. The decreased traffic could impact toll revenues for the bridge, potentially leading to a decrease in its profit projected financial returns. Meaning less Canadians, and I don't really know if Americans are being spiteful by not, crossing the bridge, crossing the border, going into Canada because of this whole situation. We do have some Americans that are just blatantly ignorant and don't care about the issues of Canada. They just care about this country. So we do have some Americans siding with Trump, so they won't be going to Canada. And we have some Canadians siding with Carney, and they will not be coming over here to the United States because our president is Donald Trump. You get what I'm saying? So yes, that is going to decrease Canada's revenue profit, man. Oh, man. And they might not make that money back. They might not make all their money back of what they spent on building this bridge because of less toll revenue. Gordie Howe Bridge is expected to open in fall 2025 according to sources. I had to put according to sources because it was according to sources. They might open this bridge in 2026. The tariffs themselves may not directly impact the bridge's construction funded by the Canadian government. I'm sorry, my second screen was in the way of this monitor. I had to move my laptop. The potential decrease in cross-border trade could negatively impact the bridge's long-term financial viability and overall success in boosting U.S.-Canada economic ties. This is going to have a major impact. And Canada might not be seeing their profit back. They might not be getting profit from what they spent in total on this bridge right here. And this is bad. This is an issue for Canada. So with further ado, let's jump right into this video, man. Here we go. I'm really excited. I was just scrolling through YouTube and randomly came across this video. So I was like, okay. Let me go ahead and create a Google Docs, put some facts down, some quick facts about this bridge and some issues that Canada will be having considering the tariff situation going on between the United States and Canada. So yeah, here we go. What Trump's tariffs mean for Canada's new $4.6 billion bridge.
Stretching across the Detroit River, the Gordie Howe International Bridge was designed as a new artery for North American trade. It connects Detroit, Michigan to Windsor, Ontario, two manufacturing powerhouses at the heart of the region's economy.
Historically, Windsor has been the auto hub for Canada, just like Detroit had been in the United States.
But as the bridge nears opening, the landscape it was built for is starting to fray. Canada is building the Gordie Howe in part to take pressure off the aging Ambassador Bridge nearby, while strengthening vital supply chains with its top trading partner, the United States.
I don't think they expected Donald Trump to come along and threaten that.
Here's why Canada invested over $4 billion into the Gordie Howe Bridge and what Trump's tariffs mean for its future.
Wait,
This stretch of
Canada invested $4 billion? Huh? When I did the research, it said that Canada's government paid for this. So I'm thinking, with Canadian money. With Canada's currency. All right. I guess you learn something new every day. And this is exactly why you got to do some extra research after checking out some of these sources, because they are just blatantly, they're just biased. They're just biased, man. All right.
and what Trump's tariffs mean for its future.
What? I thought Canada. All right.
This stretch of the Detroit River is one of the busiest international crossings in North America. It's a crucial connection between Canada and the U.S., which traded over $760 billion in goods in 2024. Historically, around a quarter of that trade has moved via this artery, the privately owned Ambassador Bridge.
That bridge itself is one of the busiest bridges between the two countries that connects these two major industrial centers.
The nearly century-old Ambassador Bridge has had its problems. Chief among them, its private ownership, which limits the control Canada and the U.S. have over it. Yet, it remains the primary crossing for trade in the region.
Being so dependent on the Ambassador Bridge has left Canada in the past vulnerable. A few years ago, there were some protests in Canada, and they blockaded the Ambassador Bridge. Within about a week, there was a threat of auto plant shutdowns in the U.S. because of this blockade.
Enter the Gordie Howe, named after the Canadian hockey legend who played for the Detroit Red Wings. The bridge with 6 lanes.
I'm glad they included this in the video because I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, is this a big coincidence? Or did they do it on purpose? Okay. They must have been listening to me, man.
Named after the Canadian hockey legend who played for the Detroit Red Wings.
Legend.
The bridge, with 6 lanes of traffic, will connect Detroit and Windsor by linking I-75 in Michigan to Highway 401 in Ontario, creating a seamless route.
What it really does is connect the highway system between Canada and the U.S., going all the way from Montreal to Florida.
A 2021 study estimated that the bridge would cut 20 minutes off crossing time, saving truckers over $1.5 billion over 30 years. And in 2012, Canada agreed to front the entire cost of construction, including the U.S. Customs Plaza, recouping the cost through future toll revenue.
Canada's footing the bill for the entire construction cost.
Oh, wait, okay, so Canada is putting in. Which one is it, man? Am I hearing something wrong? Canada is the one who put the profit in to get this whole thing constructed. Man, why would it say that they use U.S. dollars in order to achieve this construction? No, Canada paid for this with Canadian currency, right? Right? I mean, come on now. I knew, look, forget what I was saying, all that junk I was talking before about the sources. I knew my sources were right. Yeah. I knew my sources were right.
Plaza, recouping the cost through future toll revenue.
Canada's footing the bill for the entire construction cost, mostly because they're more desperate to create this corridor than the U.S. was. There had been a slow bleed of automotive industry south. And Canada was hoping that by strengthening the ties between the two cities and the two industrial heartlands, that they would be able to sort of stave off some of that constant erosion.
Once completed, the Gordie Howe Bridge is expected to increase capacity for commercial vehicles and speed up customs processing, benefiting both commuters and the surrounding industries, specifically the automotive industry. Last year, Canada exported over $27 billion in cars to the United States and about $19 billion in car parts. But the supply chain for those cars integrates the industry across multiple countries.
Canada, the U.S., and Mexico have realized that it's more efficient for certain regions to specialize in certain parts. You can
Wait, hold on. If Trump goes through with his plan of not needing Canada anymore for auto parts, the vehicle manufacturing and everything, Canada's in trouble. Canada is in trouble. And you guys will not make that profit back. Or maybe years down the line, maybe. Hopefully. The trading between auto parts was mainly one of the things that was going to help Canada reach their profit from constructing this bridge.
That it's more efficient for certain regions to specialize in certain parts. You can have an auto part go over both borders 6 or 7 times before it ends up in a car assembly in Michigan.
Oh.
This Stellantis plant in Windsor, for example, builds cars that then get exported to the US, but it relies on Detroit-based suppliers for parts. And in Michigan, major plants for Ford and GM have imported Canadian parts for their vehicles, while car plants in Ontario have used American parts in their assembly. What's more, the industry relies on a just-in-time delivery model, where parts arrive exactly when needed to minimize inventory held on site, cut storage costs, and keep operations lean.
Right.
The way that they've built out these extremely efficient supply chains is to have the exact number of transmission parts that they need exactly when they need it.
The Gordie Howe was meant to support those tight timelines with more efficient delivery, but
now again, with Trump's tariffs and his explicit desire to move car factories and auto parts manufacturers out of Canada and Mexico, it seems like the Gordie Howe Bridge won't be able to solve that problem.
I see.
We'll be announcing the tariffs on Canada and Mexico for a number of reasons.
this year the US announced a series of 25% tariffs, first on Canadian goods, then on car imports, and finally on auto parts. In response, Canada hit back with its own 25% tariffs on certain US-made vehicles.
So every time now that a company will ship a part across the border, they're going to have to pay a 25% tariff. Car makers have warned that Trump's tariffs are going to lead to shutdowns in the auto industry, and we've already very early on seen indication that, in fact, that is happening.
Earlier this month, Stellantis announced temporary production pauses at 2 plants due to the new US tariffs, including its Windsor assembly plant.
All of that inevitably is going to impact traffic.
And decreased traffic means decreased revenue. In early planning stages, a 2010 report projected the bridge would generate $70.4 million in toll revenue in its first year, which was expected to be 2016 at the time.
Now that tariff war is happening and trade ties are loosening, it's unclear how much of that will actually become real.
The Gordie Howe Bridge is slated to open in fall 2025, with the Canadian government spending $6.4 billion Canadian dollars on the project.
Wait. Fall 2025. Why did it not click in my head before? The bridge is not open yet. The bridge is not open yet. Forgive me, guys.
With the Canadian government spending $6.4 billion Canadian dollars on the project, the equivalent of $4.6 billion US dollars, and some $500 million more than its original projected cost.
We don't really know how much trade between the two countries will be impacted, whether the tariffs last. If there is less traffic that goes across the Gordie Howe Bridge, it's almost inevitable that it's going to take a lot longer to pay back the $6 billion that Canada has taken on to build a bridge. You could end up in a scenario where Canada has footed the bill for a major bridge that ends up being a bit of a white elephant.
The Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority declined to comment, but as tensions mount between the US and Canada over tariffs, some experts warn the bridge may not deliver on its original promise, at least not as quickly as once hoped.
This is an extremely fraught moment in time in Canada-US relations. The Gordie Howe Bridge was meant to be, in some ways, a celebration of the close ties between the countries. Those ties have frayed. The Gordie Howe Bridge threatens now to become a symbol of an era that once was and may never be again.
It's not like we could just return all the materials that was needed to create this bridge. In order to construct this bridge, Canada cannot get no refunds. So now, this is the plan. Just be patient and wait over the time and see if you guys can exceed your limits and reach that profit goal you have. Hopefully you do. You guys know I've been rooting for you guys. Hopefully you guys end up getting that profit back for what you threw in there for the bridge. I didn't even know that this was being spoken of since 2016. We've been planning this for a long time. Well, you guys have been planning this for a very long time. Oh my goodness. Wait. Hold on. September 2025. Okay, yes. So it was not open yet. All right, cool. The bridge is not open yet. You ain't got no choice. You got to keep on constructing it. You got to follow through with this plan and just hope for the best now. And this is how it goes in business. Not even just trading business, in just business. Everybody, please feel free to let me know in the comment section how you feel about this whole tariff situation ruining Canada's plans in constructing this bridge. Well, it's not really ruining their plans, but their future profit goals. How do you feel about it, man? And do you feel that Canada will actually exceed their limits and reach their profit of which they spent on constructing this bridge? And will you yourself actually support taking this bridge to and from the United States of America to Canada? Because if you yourself are not planning on taking this bridge, then I guess that's one less person we could count, right? One less profit we could count. And I don't blame you. And this is a messed up situation. It's like Canadians want to support their country and everything, but in order to help their country reach their profit goals, they have to cross that bridge, which majority of them aren't doing. Same for Americans. Oh, this is a mess, man. I seen this video on YouTube and I was like, let me react to this real quick. Let me react. This video wasn't even recommended, man. This video wasn't recommended at all. This video was actually made about 4 weeks ago. And it's actually low in views. Oh, only 700,000, almost 800,000. But eventually it will have the million. So we're pretty early towards checking out this video, man. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today to check out this shocking, bizarre video on how Trump's tariffs will be affecting Canada's $4.6 billion Gordie Howe International Bridge going from the United States of America to Canada, man. How much of an effect do you think these tariffs will have on Canada reaching their goals? Reaching their toll profits, currently reaching their toll profits once this bridge opens in September, and towards the future, towards exceeding their profit of what they put in towards constructing this bridge. Everyone stay safe, enjoy the weather, and I will catch you all in the next reaction video.